Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a watch that's a little bit like the Haagen-Dazs chocolate fudge brownie flavor, an embarrassment of sweet riches, and that's exactly what this Omega Constellation Day-Date is. 38 millimeters in red gold. The timepiece wears easily on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. It has an ergonomic miracle about it that, despite the integrated bracelet, means I can recommend this timepiece with its 45 millimeter lug-to-lug span for a wrist as small as 13 centimeters in circumference. That's right, you have a small wrist, this watch will fit you. But if you have a large wrist, see how the watch can splay out and make its presence felt? It can multiply its presence simply by spreading this exquisite Gadron-style integrated bracelet. The timepiece is not as thick as you might suspect, nor is it terribly thin, but at 13.7 millimeters thick, despite being a Day-Date automatic twin-barrel coaxial chronometer, it will slide underneath most cuffs, including the tightest of dress shirts, largely because of the ramp provided by the griffin claw profile on the flank of the case at 9 o'clock. Now, zooming out once more, you can see that this watch is very, very, very distinctive. There's almost nothing else that looks like this. It's got a little bit of a vintage Piaget polo to it, but you can see that this is Omega's own griffin claw constellation, the design first proffered in 1982 as the Manhattan, which continues to be one of Omega's most popular watches globally due to its strength in the Far East. But in the West, we might need a reorientation with this model, and you can see that it is very much of a 70s mind, with the design perfectly integrated from case to lug to bracelet, and the bracelet steps down beautifully with satin finished primary links, and then the rollers, the pivots internally, are actually polished for a handsome contrast. You can see there's also that polished satin contrast in profile, and the interlink of the bracelet is perfect. See how there's no daylight showing through? The tolerances are incredible, and the mass of this bracelet on the wrist is immense. It is very impressive. You'll also note internally there are ceramic pin snaps for the bracelet to maintain its tight tolerances over time. It's a sequential closed twin trigger system that gives you great security, and as you can see, it's all of high polish internally with a little bit of a curvature to the clamp so that the actual chassis itself matches the curvature of the underside of your wrist. Pop this one back open. The twin trigger system is quite robust. Unfortunately, my nails are not what they used to be, and it is quite secure when closed, so this one, despite being massive, will not go flying off of your wrist, even if you're using it as a sports watch. And I should mention, it is 100 meters water resistant and fully loomed. With automatic winding, that sounds like a sports watch to me. It is very versatile, and I have to say that it feels at home alongside high horology equivalents that are multiples of its price. Polished griffin claws on both sides flanking the bezel, which is one of the most exquisite uses of diamonds on a men's watch I've encountered. The small, brilliant cut gems fill the satin finished bezel, and you can see that the numerals are outboard of exceptional wasp-waisted pinched applique rose gold indices on the dial. You can see that they're faceted and polished, but you can also see how they thin out at their midpoint. It's an unusual shape that I've only ever seen used on these griffin claw current generation constellations. The hands at center have a little bit of a taper to them, almost like the biomorphic hands of an FP Journe, and then you can see the dial is beautifully balanced along a vertical axis from the day down to the date, and you can split the dial for bilateral symmetry. It is quite handsome. Apertures that are faceted for a step down from the matte metallic silver dial to the discs for the day and the date themselves, with a constellation signature star reminding you that back in the day the first constellations were observatory chronometers. Now, the watch features both hacking seconds, as you can see, and a double quick set system, so you have the ability to quickly set the date as well as the day should the watch run down. Turn it all over. The movement includes solid gold components. This is caliber 8612. You can see a solid 18 karat gold, rose gold rotor, and an 18 karat solid gold hallmarked full balance bridge. Beaten away at 25,200 vibrations per hour, it features twin mainspring barrels that give it a 60-hour power reserve as well as very even torque release. The twin barrels better than one, keeping the amplitude more constant through 24 and 48 hours after winding. Bidirectional automatic winding. It features a COSC chronometer certification. It also has a coaxial escapement, the tri-level coaxial, the ultimate development of the system envisioned by George Daniels in 1974 and industrialized by Omega 20 years ago in 1999. It is now perfected, both durable and very precise. The full bridge and the free-sprung index make the watch shock resistant. The SI-14 silicone hairspring makes the watch robustly anti-magnetic. And of course the timepiece with 39 jewels, handsomely decorated with arabesque spiral Côte de Genève across the rotor as well as the bridges, and you can see oxidized black screws as well as black polished screws. The watch actually features both. This is a timekeeper that leaves nothing to be desired. Handsome inside, handsome on the outside, adventurous, and, thanks to its sales in the Far East, a true global icon. You can see and own this Omega Constellation Day-Date on the watch box. The Constellation Day-Date, fully loomed by night.